when you first started, like, it was just like, this is a cool job.
Yeah.
I'm going to do something I love, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like, some money's coming in.
Yeah.
And I think what you and I said was, like, we got to a point where you're, like, making $300 a day. And you're like, yo, I'm fucking rich, bro. Yeah. When I could buy a Monster and a pack of cigarettes every day, I was like,
yeah, when you get to the point where you can, like, afford lunch again, you're like, this is nice.
Do you guys know about KINGPIN Tattoo Supply? I don't know about you, but I'm ordering products every week from this company, that company. I got 1 million boxes coming. I don't want to deal with any of that. This place is a one-stop shop. I do not go anywhere else. I go to KINGPIN. I order all my things. It comes in one box. I have everything I need to tattoo. It is the best. This is where you guys need to go. I can do you one better. If you use code CAMSUCKS, you get 20% off. There you go. What more do you need? Go there now. Bye. It has come to my attention that a lot of you come here, watch the content, and don't subscribe. And that fact has been proven by those around me with a number figure of 90%. What's going on? You come here every week, you watch, just hit subscribe. That's it. That's all we want. Don't be a dick. Just hit the button.
Yes. Thank you guys for joining us on today's episode of Unemployable Podcast. Today we have Hugo Feist with us. Thanks for joining us, man.
Hello.
Nice pronunciation.
Yeah, I tried. I totally didn't ask him beforehand. Hugo's been with us for like about a week and a half now.
Yeah.
2 weeks, coming up on 2 weeks. Yeah, Hugo is just guest partner with us. Awesome to have you here. It's been awesome while you've been here.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, of course.
But now
dude.
I'm used to it.
Yeah, I don't want you to leave.
When you leave, no good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
no
come back.
bueno. You can just not pack up and go.
You just got me a contract yesterday. You can sign it here.
I just slide the paper.
Yeah, you can sign it here.
Yeah, Alex was like, get the net. So you just started working back in U.S. recently, right?
Yeah, we're what, March now? Mid-March? It's been a month.
Right.
Yeah.
But you weren't able to for a while.
Yeah, for 7 years.
That's crazy. So you were over here working, and then what happened?
7 years ago, I stayed 3 months. I worked everywhere. Like, I started by Chicago, then Colorado, California, New York, and ended up in Miami.
Yeah.
And I met somebody here working. We stayed in touch, and she came in France. Met me in France and stayed a month over there, and then I tried to come back in the U.S. with her. And when I arrived in Washington, they stopped me at the border and they checked my passport and everything.
Right.
And they went on internet and find everything I did for the 3 months I was
shit.
in the U.S. Well, I played the game.
So they like held you somewhere while they investigated?
Yeah.
You're like, what the fuck's
The
going
real
on?
deal, yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
Searched for everything in my bag, didn't find anything. Yeah. They were searching for machines, inks and stuff. So at the end, it was like almost good. And then they found a card in my wallet that I did when I was in California.
Yeah.
To smoke weed, medicine.
Oh, yeah.
To smoke weed. But I told them that I was not in California. I said I did Chicago and Miami.
Right.
But then they found the card and they was like, so why do you have this card? And I was like, fuck, I forgot. Yeah. I went 2 weeks in California with my girl, and he's like, yeah, give me your phone. And then he searched for everything, and that's it. They put me back in the plane, handcuffed and stuff. I stayed 6 hours in a back room.
What, you came over on, what, a 10 hour plane?
Yeah.
Got stopped?
Plane, got stopped in Washington. They put me in a back room for 6 hours.
Damn.
They handcuffed me to bring me back in the plane.
And what was going on with the person you're traveling with? They're like, yeah, just wait.
So I was with my buddy Elliot.
Okay.
And that's the guy who taught me how to tattoo. And when I got back in France, I was like, dude, you gotta come with me.
It's so great.
It's so good. You're gonna have a blast.
Right.
And we land, and I'm like, my passport is in a box. I need to go in the back room, and they need to check.
Yeah.
So he came with me, and they asked me all those questions, but he don't speak really much English.
Yeah.
So they looked at him, they looked at me, and they were like, he doesn't speak English. You know, he can go.
Yeah.
He's not gonna do anything.
Right.
And he stayed one day, and he left for Canada because he didn't speak English and he was alone. So
Yeah. It's tough.
yeah, he ended up leaving, and that's it. They sent me back. They took my phone, my passport, so I couldn't.
So you had to wear the handcuffs on the plane?
No, it's just to bring me back
Oh,
from the
gotcha.
back room to the plane,
Yeah.
and they sit me down. So I had to walk in front of everybody that was already seated in the
Yeah.
plane, and they put me back handcuffed, took the handcuff out of me, and sit me down next to somebody. Just looking at me.
What the fuck?
Bonjour. Tattoos on the face. Bad.
So then you flew home, and did they like explain anything to you?
Yeah. So they said, when I was there, they said, don't worry about it. You'll be able to come back real soon. And I was like, oh, okay, that's fine then. Yeah. No.
So what's that process? Like, you got home. When did you find out that like you would have to wait that long to come back?
So they don't give you any dates, really. What happened is that they cancel your tourist visa forever.
Oh man.
So you cannot go back to the U.S. as a tourist because you fucked up, which is fair, you know. And then a year after that, I was still with that girl, and I wanted to go see her family. So I said, let's ask for a tourist visa, go to the embassy. So you need to wait a month in order to have an appointment. Spend $200, I think. Then I had to go to Paris, so it's 6 hours away from where I live.
Yeah.
So you need to take a hotel room and stuff. So I go there, sleep there, and in the morning I go to the embassy, and I enter, give the passport, and she just took it, go on the computer, and she said no. It took like fucking 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And I just realized that I couldn't go back in the U.S. as a tourist.
Right.
Yeah, so then we started the process. I got married to that girl. Then we started the process to have a green card.
So that didn't matter that you guys were married?
It did, because I could have a green card, but
Okay.
still the green card takes 2 years
Yeah.
of process. So at the end of the process, we got separated.
Right.
Yeah, so I stopped the green card, and I started the artist visa process. But the artist visa requires a lot of papers. But
Like you have to bring something of special value to the country.
it was worth it doing it.
So even when you were coming here years and years ago, it was easy to book up?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And then obviously
Easier
you
because
could
you
charge
have to-
more here.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But when you do the math, at the end of the day, it's kind of the same living in France, earning what I earn, and living in the U.S., earning what I earn in the U.S. I couldn't live in the U.S. earning what I earn in France, but I
Yeah.
can live in France.
Yeah, cost of living here. Just
Like a few, friends that come from Europe, like they'll come and they'll charge like the U.S. rates, and they'll just try to like minimize their spend as much as possible. Yeah, just so it's like, okay, I'm really just coming here to like work.
Yeah, hustle. That's what I'm trying to do. I mean, go back and forth, so it's really expensive for me, this kind of living, but in the meantime, pay is good here.
Yeah. Would the goal be to live here?
I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But I think I'm going to do the best of my 3 years I have with the visa.
Yep.
And then take a decision.
Sure.
But yeah, I feel like I need to spend as much time as possible here in order to build a clientele and all that,
Right.
and then I can see.
And because this has kind of become a topic that's being more talked about now. Like we were even, a lot of people were talking about it at the convention. I've heard it on
Oh, yeah?
other podcasts. Yeah, surprisingly. And I just mean surprisingly because there's always, the hot topic that people are talking about. And it was just funny that, like, we did a video on it and then go to a convention and everyone's already talking about it. And I'm like, oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, it wasn't even out.
Yeah, it wasn't even out. And I was like, this is cool that the awareness is building. I know, like, Allegory will help people, and I know they do it right.
Yeah.
And, like, they have nothing to earn because they don't have a shop.
Yeah, so they probably help them by sponsor and writing letters for them.
Yeah.
But it's a really long process to do a visa for somebody.
So you've been to, a decent amount of shops in U.S., right?
Mm-hmm.
You said you kind of did that little tour before,
Yeah.
and now you're starting another one again. Would you say that they're very different from European shops?
I went to Elysium, so they
Yeah.
bought a church and they
Right.
turned it into a tattoo shop. Super fun.
Yeah, it's cool.
They did the basement as a tattoo shop and also the whole church where there's benches. They
Yeah.
took off the benches. And it's like a bunch of tattoo station.
Yeah, the pews,
Yeah.
the benches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the name?
Pew.
All right. So they took that off.
It might be from one of your guys' words. I don't know.
Probably.
Yeah.
Like pew
Yo,
pew?
because in Pony Studio they had them.
Yeah.
I was like, why are these here?
That was my next question. Do they have the thing for your knees?
It'd be sick. Like someone's getting their back done. They're just on the field. Like, I got you, dog. Yeah. What about like the vibe or like there's kind of like those unspoken rules of shops?
Unspoken rules of shops.
Like, oh,
Give me
this
an
is how
example.
things work,
Money-wise.
money-wise. I mean, I'm trying to think of like differences that I noticed. Like,
Yeah.
like when I was in Europe. I mean, one, like the buildings are just nicer, so it's like cooler to like walk into these like old. I know you're used to it. I'm
Yeah, that's the
not
thing.
though. Yeah,
I
I'm
think
like,
it's just the thing, you know?
yeah. I'm like, damn, this is sick.
Damn,
and
a
like a lot of
building.
everything was like old,
Is
like
that
even.
stone?
Yeah, I'm like, this is crazy.
This
Yeah.
isn't drywall.
How do you guys build this? Yeah.
This is the ghetto.
Right. But like even the windows, like we're all old and they're little like mechanisms and opening. I'm like, this is crazy, you know? And then
Where's
like,
the
"It's
hurricane
fucking old,
shutters?
bro."
yeah, I'm like, there's not a button, you
This
know?
is fucking old, man.
And then my experience, and I don't know if it's like this in every shop, but they would just like open all the windows and doors
Okay.
there, which was,
Maybe summer.
yeah, I guess. But it was like no AC.
Yeah,
like
no
we're just
AC.
going to do this. But I kind of liked that.
Yeah.
Felt like I was tattooing outside.
Yeah, that feels like illegal here. Like it feels wrong here to do that.
Yeah. Because like Chris will at the other shop, he'll like open the garage door, and I'm like, "What are you doing? This is a medical environment." You know?
That's like my thought process.
Yeah.
That's funny. So what's the difference in between shops in Europe and America? Damn, man, they open the windows.
Yeah. It's fucking
Sick.
wild.
Crazy.
They just be tattooing outside and shit.
Like the Vatican, which is completely dark in there. There's no windows. I kind of like that too, though. Then you don't know what time of day it is.
Yeah.
There's like
Yeah, I used to have a shop like this, but when you spend every day working there, you're depressed.
Yeah.
Dark environment, no sun. Yeah, no.
Oh yeah, bro. That one room had no windows.
Depressing.
I was like, "This, I'll kill." Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess
It sounds like the back. So Hugo, you've been to a few different like states and cities here. Like, what would you say is like one of your more favorite like cultures down here? You know, like do you like the northern folks more than like the southern people? Like, how do you feel so far?
I think I'm not qualified yet to
Just yeah.
put people in categories like
No, fair.
people.
If you
in the
had to
South are
put
more-
Cam in one category.
Whoa.
So like even here, you got to work at like Borrowed Time, Street Shop, more energy, and then the other shop, Model, which is a little more like private,
Yeah.
quiet. Do you have like a preference of work environment?
Yeah, so I'm usually working more in model citizens kind of environment.
Right, like
And-
more like quiet, less going on.
Less street shop, more
Yeah.
like, not private, but less like big pieces and not much walk-ins. Or the walk-ins, they come for informations and
Right.
they take an appointment and they leave.
Yeah.
Where Borrowed Time was more walk-ins, good energy and stuff. So super fun, but when I need to focus on something I'm not comfortable with, it's
Yeah.
harder.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
dude, it's like a convention kind
Yeah. Yeah. So like the first 2 weeks, no problem because the projects were fine and stuff. And
Yeah.
I had one day just like a customer where the tattoo was just a little harder, the skin and everything.
Yeah.
And when there's a lot of noise and different musics in the back and the front, and then you know, like all over the place. And then anxiety started kicking. I was like, damn, Zion.
Well, I mean, dude, all your pieces here you crushed. That
Yeah.
skull,
Super
the
sick.
skull thing with the mushrooms was fire, bro.
Thank you, sir.
The video came out awesome. But I get that, dude. That'll happen to me at borrowed time, bro. I'll be trying to put the stencil on, it's not working, and everyone's like, bah, 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 bah. I'm like, I'm gonna kill all you motherfuckers.
Yeah. But I see you and you're like not bothered. Like there's 10 people around you and you're like, you're just tattooing.
It's because I'm an actor. No, I'm just kidding. No. Dude, I've kind of like learned to accept it, but there have been times, honestly, even at like model 2, there was a few, you know, just like whether it's like a heads get me a lot.
Yeah.
Like I'll be like, especially if it's the whole head, I'm like, yo, don't talk to me until you see me like tattooing.
Yeah.
You know, and also, if you see me tattooing, make sure the whole stencil's on, because I might have to freehand. Also, leave me alone while I freehand. You know.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's just like different days, different things to do. But whenever I'm traveling as well, you know, you're never like quite comfortable. You have to like figure out where everything is at the shop, and like you don't have the experience like, oh, if this happens, I know how to fix this at this shop or whatever.
I think I got used to this.
I think so too, yeah.
And that's cool. You know?
Yeah.
I'm not really stressed out to work, and it takes me a long time to start though.
Yeah.
It takes me forever. But I'm fast at tattooing.
Right.
But I usually gonna end up around 10 midnight, my usual days.
Right.
Since I'm never at the same place, the printers,
Yeah.
this and that,
Wi-Fi.
it's everywhere. Wi-Fi. Yeah. Where's the tape?
Scissors.
Did you get it? Yeah, and yeah. So you feel like you're bothering everybody, but they know you're here for 2 weeks, so.
Yeah, I feel like everyone has to have like that patience with a guest artist.
Yeah,
if you're
but I
like
feel
getting
like-
mad at a guest artist for asking
Yeah.
for shit, like you're fucked
You're an
up.
asshole.
Yeah, you're literally an asshole. Yeah, like he doesn't know where
There's some
anything
people,
is.
though, that like,
I bet there is.
it's just a scissor.
I can only imagine, dude.
Scissors
Yeah.
behind you.
Mine was cool when when we had the whole printer situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went on a field trip. with
Yeah,
the
we
guys.
took him to Best Buy.
Almost bought an Xbox.
He almost
Almost bought an Xbox. There's always solution. Best Buy is 10 minutes away. I think.
Right.
So I don't need to stress out. That's why, like, working in different shops and having different printers, different ways to do the stencil, you end up learning.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you figure it out, right?
Yeah.
You roll with it. It's a little harder in the beginning.
And I feel like I could work anywhere now. Just need whatever tools I need to work, but
Yeah.
I could work in a fucking Airbnb or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, you have a lot of experience kind of working on the road, right?
Yeah.
But you also have a lot of experience opening shops.
Yeah.
How many shops have you opened?
I had 3 shops, not in the meantime, but I opened
Right.
one, then I closed it, took a bigger one, and then I took a bigger one.
How old were you when you opened your first shop?
I was 25.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then how was that experience?
The first one was the best one.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was the smallest one, but it was when my buddies, I had my first apprentice. One day he came and he was like, I know you're not going to take me because I suck, but it's my work. I do this. And I was like, damn, it's good.
Oh, it was
Come back
good?
tomorrow.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was good. He just didn't have any confidence in himself.
Yeah.
But he came back and he helped me for a month. And after I was like, bring some friends, tattoo them, and we'll see.
Yeah.
We're still buddies, and he stayed apprenticing with me for like 2 years. And after I saw he had a good level, so I was like, let's just share bills together.
Yeah.
Instead of, because I was taking 30% from him,
Yeah.
which was fair when he was learning and building his clientele because he was taking customers from me. Yeah. But once he was ready and he had his own customers rolling, his girlfriend was pregnant and everything, it was like,
Oh, yeah,
let's
like
share.
starting a family and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, let's share.
So then it was just you and him in a shop?
The first shop was me and him, and then I met my ex-wife,
Yeah.
and I met a lot of people down the road, and they started coming in the shop, but it ended up being too small.
Right.
So I opened a bigger one.
Close
100
by? Near the original shop?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
In a
everything is
cool
really-
old building?
in a ratchet old building.
The
Yeah.
windows open?
Windows sometimes. Sometimes we're gonna open the windows. No, it was a cool shop. Everybody had his own room, so it was the old apprentice that became my co-worker or like
partner or whatever.
Partner, whatever. And my ex-wife, so Ivanka, the two artists here in Miami as well. And we had this shop for 3 years, and after they destroyed the building, so we had to change. And then COVID happened.
Yeah.
So,
but wasn't there a third shop?
Yeah, then the third shop happened.
And then how did that happen?
That was after COVID. I got separated. I was struggling with a lot of anxiety at the time from COVID and everything. Yeah. Smoking too much weed, I guess, from fucking lockdown. Nothing to do. Yeah. And I needed some change. So I'm from France, like 6 hours away from Paris, at the border of Switzerland in, we'll say, southeast.
Okay, yeah.
By Geneva. And I ended up opening another shop with a friend of mine that had the project of opening a shop with a friend of his.
Okay.
So we ended up building a shop, the three of us.
Right.
But I feel like I ended up going there just to please them more than anything.
Yeah.
And I ended up in a situation where I was not happy. So I kept this shop open for 2 years, but really the last year I was not really there. I was mostly in London, working in London.
Yeah. So even though like you had this shop, most of the time was being spent in London.
Yeah, on the road.
Yeah.
So then I was like, I'm paying bills for my apartment, for my shop, and I'm never there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had a couple arguments with the boys at the shop I opened with, and I opened the shop with my buddy, but then there was this guy that was his buddy, his best friend, like, and he had the building, and they had the name of the shop, and they were like more like West Side culture, Chicanos, because my friend used to live in LA, so he had an Impala, lowrider.
I get it.
You know what I mean?
I get it.
Yeah, D-keys and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, it's not me.
Right.
And for a couple of months, I tried to play the role, but I saw I was angry and ended up not being myself anymore.
Right.
And didn't like everything that's quite dark and like my field of work, you know? So, yeah, I didn't feel like staying there.
It just wasn't your style.
Yeah, everything was completely different.
Right. So, and then when you're back home, where do you tattoo?
When I'm back home in France, I'm in my mom's place.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because why not?
Yeah.
First of all. And I've got this friend that has a tattoo shop like downstairs my mom. I walk 5 minutes and he's got this small tattoo shop.
Yeah.
It's super nice, and I've got a place to work there. He's not charging me anything.
And it's close to home. You said it's 5 minutes?
5 minutes.
That's the best.
Yeah, I can go walk, go back in my mom's. And usually when I'm in France, I stay 2 weeks a month just to rest up and tattoo my friends.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, because honestly, it seems like with your level of tattooing, how known you are in the world, and your experience, you really could do whatever you wanted. You could open a shop here, there, do this, work at someone else's. I mean, what do you think, like, the end goal for you would be? Would it be to open another shop?
Yeah, I think so, but nothing really big. Nothing that will make me have more responsibilities.
Right.
Because I find that the peace of mind I have right now is priceless.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I don't have any, responsibilities. What's the word for? I don't have any, obligations? Yeah. Or boundaries. I guess I'm free, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I used to chase money. Everybody. I used to chase fame, everybody, Instagram fame, whatever. And then I realized that it was not what was going to make me happy.
Yeah.
And what's making me happy is being free and have time, because time is worth way more money than money. It doesn't make sense. But
no, I understand.
For sure.
It is cool, and a lot of times when like the responsibilities drop and all that stuff, and you stop like chasing whatever it is, you get to focus more on like the artwork too.
Exactly. No, but when I'm saying this, I could take somebody, you know, that work with me and take care of everything I cannot take care of, but like you do. But I don't have those people I can trust around me.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is the hardest, finding somebody that's gonna like build this with you,
Right.
how you want it.
And you can like rely on them.
Yeah. And I feel like I don't have any more patience, and
Right.
yeah, I'm getting tired of explaining how I see things, because then I understood that it's not how everybody sees things, you know. So you cannot change people.
Right. What do you think one of, like what you're saying, I got tired of explaining, you know, how you think of things. Were there any big ones that would come up, like your ideas or that you wanted to implement that maybe not everyone was getting on board with?
So I tried to work with somebody that would take appointments for me.
Yeah.
But it didn't work, because when I say they, because I took multiple ones to try, but nobody can really understand on the daily whatever you want to do as a tattoo, like whatever you feel like doing on this day, you know.
Yeah.
So they'll never explain your customer how you can see things, or so that's the hardest for me, is relying on somebody that can explain what's in my mind. It's not possible.
I understand.
And that's the most important for me, is my bookings. So I really want to book people that are open to my ideas, because if it's something I don't like, I'm just going to rush it, and it's not going to be as good as if
Right.
it's
You're
something
not
I
like
would
chasing any end product. You don't care about it.
Yeah. And the thing with me is not like what's good is money came after, but I was never doing this for the money.
Right.
But good thing money came after. Yeah.
Right.
So I will always choose a better project, even though I have to take a couple $100 out of the paycheck.
Yeah.
I'll take this.
Yeah, we were talking about that, and I'm sure you can relate too, Cam. When you first started, like, it was just like, this is a cool job.
Yeah.
I'm going to do something I love, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like, some money's coming in.
Yeah.
And I think what you and I said was, like, we got to a point where you're, like, making $300 a day, and you're like, yo, I'm fucking rich, bro. Yeah. What we doing now, boy?
Yeah.
Did you ever get to a point where it was, like, beyond what you ever thought it would be?
Not yet.
Oh, you had pretty high expectations, I guess.
Not yet. But I mean, because you got to realize, you know, like I just made first year as like adult money also.
Yeah.
So like I also really didn't know what to do with it. But
It doesn't have to necessarily be money. We were just joking, because I was like,
Yeah.
when I could buy a Monster and a pack of cigarettes every day, I was like,
yeah, when you get to
balling.
the point where you can like afford lunch again, you're like, this is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, I can live cozy, like doing what I like.
Dude.
And it's cool because it's like not like I was telling him the other day, because he's like at that weird gray area right now, where I was like, yo, it just happens out of nowhere. Like you don't even know when it happens.
Yeah.
Or like you just wake up one day with like a couple $100 in your bank account. You're like, whoa, dude.
Yeah.
Like you don't know when it happens, like when it's coming, you have no clue. It just kind of like happens. Yeah.
Dude,
oh shit, I'm not bored anymore, dude.
I just remember, like, I was in my first year of tattooing, and I was tattooing next to this guy that had been tattooing like 10 years, maybe a little less. And I remember I was like learning like credit cards and like how to do all that. And I was complaining to him about like my statement one time. I was like, damn, I didn't realize like I spent so much this month, which it was probably like $100 I spent that month. And I was like really upset about it. And I was like, what do you do? Like, how do you manage your credit card? And I remember, I don't know why, the artist is like, yeah, honestly, I don't even look at it. I just pay it. And I'm like, that must be so fucking nice, bro.
Like that feeling.
I'm like, you don't check it? What if there's like a charge on there that you didn't, whatever?
I was going to say, that's when you know you made it. So you go to the grocery store and you don't even see the prices. And people tell you, whoa.
Or you have like that.
Things got expensive.
Like that
Hey,
Netflix.
have you seen peanut butter recently?
That Netflix
And you're like, no, I haven't.
You like that Netflix subscription that keeps renewing, but you haven't used Netflix in 6 months, but you're just like, you can let it go.
Right,
Like, I'll use
all-
Netflix
dude,
one day,
all
dude.
these things are like so beyond what I ever thought I would
100%.
get out of like tattooing,
Yeah.
you know?
No, and I've like tasted like a little bit. I would say like the one time it kind of hit me, like kind of funny story is like I feel like I was making a little bit of money for like a few months, like not spending it.
Yeah.
And then I was in Walmart one day, and so I'm a big gamer. The PS5 came out like in the middle of my apprenticeship, so I was poor. So like I remember I was just walking through Walmart one day and there's a PS5 there, and I was like, man, I wish I could afford that. And then I was like, oh shit, I can afford that. I was like, yo, I can get this right now. And I think that was like,
he had like literally $700. He's like, I can afford that.
That's mine. Yeah. And then you're like, oh shit.
All right. Model Citizen used to be cool before Alex started wearing it. Are you tired of being unattractive to everyone around you? Well, not anymore. With the Model Citizen apparel, you'll be beating them off with a stick. Finally, tattoo clothing that is actual quality, that I can wear around and feel good. For real though, the quality of these clothes is top notch. This is like nothing you've ever seen before with a tattoo company. This isn't some Gildan bullshit. These are quality, hand-picked clothing. They have everything from vintage styles, oversized clothes, modern tees. Go to themodelcitizen.com. Get them before Alex does. So you just had a Sullen shirt release?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
What was the
that's cool.
process of that?
They were like, can you design something for us? I said, yeah. And for 3 years, I couldn't design anything. And then I started working with different mediums, like 3D painting.
Right.
So I was experimenting, and then I ended up doing a design for them in 3D, turned it into Photoshop and just mixed around stuff. Tried to do something that looked like my style,
Right.
but it doesn't.
Okay. Yeah.
It's just a skull. And but it was cool.
Right. I think it's definitely like an honor, a cool thing to achieve.
Yeah.
Right.
That was something I set for myself, and I was like, I want my sweatshirt one day. I don't know why, but yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, I think that's important. Like, I try to think about all the goals I had when I started out tattooing and see if I can accomplish them. Even if now maybe they don't seem as, like, cool or important.
Maybe you don't remember.
Yeah.
But, like, meeting people you look up to.
Yeah.
Working with them. Going to conventions. Going overseas. And the biggest convention in Europe you're going to next month.
Right.
God of Ing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's goals that I've set up for myself, but I was like, if one day I do it, I'm done, you know?
Yeah.
Then you do it, and it's like, what's next?
Yeah. But I think, like, 25, 22, 20-year-old, Hugo seeing these things would be like, that's fucking sick, dude.
Yeah. Sometimes I tattoo a finish late, and I roll up a joint, I'll sit down, and you wake up Sunday and you're like, fuck this shit, like, I'm tired.
Right.
But sometimes you end up being like appreciative.
Yeah.
Because you realize that it's a fucking sick life.
Yeah.
Tattooing is fucking sick.
Obviously, like, we understand what it takes to be a tattoo artist, produce tattoos, but the client only sees some of it, right? What do you think are some big things that, like, clients don't see?
Honestly, I love my clients. I feel like they understand, and they're always really appreciative again for me to put the work on them and designing the project. And I'm trying to do it with them because I hate spending a week on a design and I come in the morning and it's like, I don't like it.
They change
It's
it,
not their fault. It's my fault. I should have known.
Yeah.
So I'm going to gather references that I can show him on the day. And, like, I'm going to ask pictures of where to put it, stuff like this. And once I have something in my mind, it's easier and quick to do on the day. So since they do all the process, they see all the process, they appreciate it.
Yeah.
But a lot of customers, they don't see you drawing the stencil, doing the project if you do it at home.
Right.
So a lot of them can be not appreciated.
Yeah.
Don't realize that it's hard work.
No, I like your process. I've only seen a couple other artists here do it where, like, you'll bring them in early, you sit down, you go over everything, and then it's kind of like, okay, I have everything I need, like, go relax, get food, whatever, I'm going to put it together now. Yeah.
I feel like this is how, if you give him a little bit of credit, your client, on the design, be like, he put his own little touch to it.
Yeah.
I feel like they're more happy about the design, and it's easier to be like, okay, let's do it,
Right.
because they were here when you designed it.
Sure that you have a seminar available online, right?
Use the code.
And then what was the process of creating that like?
So I got contacted by somebody that wanted to start a website with artists and do master classes for them.
Oh yeah.
So he came to France. He's not from France. He came to France with a cameraman, but I feel like he did a mistake by hiring this guy
Okay.
because he was real bad.
Right.
And so that was a shit show because it took me forever to tattoo. And I did 3 tattoos for the seminar. One of them I couldn't finish because it was 6 in the morning. It was the first day of us trying to film something.
Yeah.
And then that's when I realized that it was going to be harder than what I expected.
Right.
Yeah. But I freestyled everything, kind of. We prepared a year before everything we were going to speak about.
Like you made like an outline?
Yeah,
Gotcha.
he did.
Yeah.
And then I modified whatever I didn't want to speak about, or I was not qualified enough to speak about,
Yeah.
or it was not relevant in the seminar. So then we did 2 weeks of filming, 18 hours content, a year of editing,
Damn.
and then it started selling last year.
Right.
But it's 3 years ago that we filmed this. It came out a year ago.
Okay.
I'm not 100% happy because it's super hard to organize everything, and I don't have the power. I don't have the control over it.
Yeah.
They have. So if I want to change something, I cannot really.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that makes me want to do another one with somebody else or on my own. But I know doing it on my own would require too much time. I don't know if I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. So I might work with them for the next one, or not. I don't know yet.
Because there's so many, that happened to me with like apprenticeships.
Yeah,
They'll be like, why do you do that?
yeah,
And I'm like, I don't know.
yeah.
But then you think about it and
Yeah.
you're like, oh, this is why I
Exactly.
do that.
Yeah,
You know?
Yeah, yeah.
But you're just so used to just doing
it.
that.
And then when you explain it, you're like, oh, that makes sense.
Right.
You know?
You're like, damn, I'm smart.
Wow.
So your seminar is how long?
It's 18 hours of content,
Wow.
2 tattoos. So I do 2 tattoos in like different sections. It's like 2 hours of video, and there's like 6 videos per tattoo.
Yeah.
And then me speaking about small things like how to market yourself, how to take pictures of your tattoo, what do I use for the tattoo, for the healing, how to drive a customer to do something that you'd like to do, or why would it be more important to have your own identity if you want to reach out more customers, because supply and demand, if you're the only one doing this kind of style, you for sure gonna have more customer coming towards you.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like a lot of people tend to forget that it's not all about technique in tattooing. It's just a different medium.
Right.
So you could be good at painting and good at tattooing, or the opposite. You could be good at tattooing, not good at painting,
Right.
and good at painting, not good at tattooing. But once you understand all the codes like light, volume, contrast, that's way easier to work, because I spend more time figuring out the composition and the light on my designs and all that. And when I'm sure about the reference I'm going to use, then it's way easier to tattoo.
It's like you use all those foundation points.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you enter a spot in the tattoo that's a little tricky, just rely on the basics.
Exactly.
Right? This is the light, trust my format, a little more volume.
30% black, 30% medium,
Yeah.
30% light.
Yeah.
It's the rule of third as well, like how you put the design on the body. It needs to flow, have the... Like if you follow like just this S-curve everywhere on the body, it's way easier to design, you know?
Yeah.
But that I got from traveling and seeing the people I was looking up to.
Yeah.
How they were designing their stuff, tattooing. But I've never been really that much on what needles do you use, what black do you use, what... I don't give a fuck.
Right.
You know, I could use whatever black.
Right. Can you make it look like this? Okay, use whatever you want. Yeah.
That's it. Because a lot of people, they're like, oh, what grays do you use? What machine do you use? What needles? It's not about this.
Right.
You know, it's maybe how you treat the light. Like, so people, I feel like they like the way I use opaque grays, but they don't really know how I use it. So that's interesting to speak about.
Right.
Like, I'm gonna use the opaques in the bouncing light, for example. So you've got the direct light coming and then it reflects on the floor and comes back to the cheek, for example.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put the opaque here, but this is gray wash. So you're gonna have this contrast between the redness of the skin and the blue of the opaque. That's gonna create a different contrast between. So contrast is black and white, but it's also warm and cold. So blue and red, or it can be sharp and blur. So I'm gonna do my composition, and that's how I earn time on my tattoos as well. I'm gonna focus on the main object and be sharp on the main object, and everything that's the background or the end of the composition or something is gonna be more blurry.
Right. Which creates a whole nother contrast.
Depth.
Yeah.
Hugo, dude, thank you so much for joining us, man.
Thank you
of
for having
course.
me, guys.
Yeah, man, it's
really
been awesome having you here, and we'll catch you next week.
Guys, hope you enjoyed the episode. I know we joke around a lot and get wild on some topics, but one topic I take very serious is addiction. If you or anyone you know is struggling, don't be afraid to reach out and get the help you need.